Hello, 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 hello.
Let's do it.
All right, everyone. Hi, and welcome to the official Body Spartan podcast. My name is Gabe Tuft. I am the founder of Body Spartan.
And oh, so good looking.
Ooh, look at that. Not even a chance to give an intro, and she jumps in with the accolades.
I just have to say, I spent a weekend in Las Vegas with this gentleman, and he is so good looking.
Ooh, was that before or after I got my fingers drilled?
Yes.
Well, for anybody that does not know, this is the lovely, the wonderful, the ever so epic, hot and saucy.
First Lady of Body Spartan, Priscilla Tuft.
You see that awkward pause? It always happens because you have no idea when I'm going to stop with all this crap.
Exactly. Just kind of let him go on. I do that before my morning coffee, too. I just kind of let him give me my accolades. And I'm like, oh, it's so sexy.
I do that in the mornings, don't I? Yeah, I kind of do that in the mornings and give you all your yummy little accolades.
Truth? We don't speak before coffee, but our daughter speaks a lot. She's like a pixie that shoots out of a cannonball.
She does that.
Did you hear all the things this morning? She's got stuff to say.
I did hear. And, if you guys are noticing the lack of enthusiasm in Priscilla's voice, it is because we just spent a weekend in Vegas. We actually went because brand ambassador David Larson was competing in the Natural Olympia. It's the PNBA, INBA Natural Olympia. We're talking, the best in the world of natural bodybuilders were there.
I mean, it was kind of like a crazy, synchronistic, my whole life led up to this moment kind of moment. Because there we are supporting David, and up walks John Suey, Gabe's buddy from college.
Who just happened to have turned pro fitness competitor. He's Men's Physique Open.
Crazy. So we take him back for a backstage interview, and he says that the reason that he competes and is doing all these amazing things in his life is because of his very first workout with Gabe, which is incredibly motivating and sweet and inspiring. But then guess who walks up? Guess who walks up? One of the guys that used to wrestle with Gabe.
That would be Big Rob Terry.
If the word big is before your name and people just call you that, you're probably going to get first place.
If you guys want to see Rob, go to his Instagram. It's official Rob Terry, Terry. The guy's massive. He was like the biggest dude in training, and his skin was always like sucked up to his muscles. I swear he had no salt in his diet ever. The guy was amazing back then. He looks amazing now. So Davey got 5th. Overall, so
which is incredible because this is a nationally recognized.
Oh, no. This is internationally recognized.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is the World Championship. This is
in fact, how awkward was it? Every time somebody won, they play their national anthem, but every time they won, we heard the Japanese national anthem. We heard
Korean,
Taiwan. What else did we hear?
Australian.
It was
Canadian.
A very freaking long ceremony. I'm like,
But was it the Korean national anthem that was just beautiful?
Yeah, that was actually really amazing and inspiring.
One of those.
And the way that
amazing.
he stood, he was so proud. He's like, "This is my freaking country," and here I am standing representing. It was really amazing, and the guys did great. It was a very well put together show, very long, well put together show.
Yeah. So there were 40 divisions.
40,000 divisions.
We got there 4:30. So we got there 4:30. We get there. We get there a little early. We pay our money and we go sit. And we look at the program. We're like,
actually, we didn't even have to sit because we could basically lay down because there were that many seats left over. But by the end of it, it was really filled up.
Well, yeah, everybody kind of realized at the beginning was going to be slow. What was cool, though, is Rob Terry was there. Rob won. He got the overall. So he
You're going to skip straight to that?
Yeah, I'm just going to get this over
because
with.
the reason I was so inspired is because they had a kids division. Oh my gosh, you kidding me? It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. I wish Mia Bella had been with us because she would have loved that this little girl crushed it on stage and then this little boy.
Cute. I thought it was ridiculous. So
did you really?
Yeah, I thought it was a joke.
But if your daughter
good for the kids though.
If your daughter had been that little girl that won,
I would have clapped my ass off.
So you can clap your ass.
I
thought I only could clap.
She was the only person in the division, so it's
okay, that was
same with the kid that was the child bodybuilder. I'm like, there was one person in your division, dude. Why do you have this division? This is the World Championships too. You'd think that you'd have
you know what? There
two.
is that element. You can't have so many divisions that everybody gets a medal when they walk away.
I don't want to knock this.
We're totally gonna go there. We have to go there.
Everybody got a participation medal.
We're like, oh, millennium.
I was like, are you kidding me?
Millennial at its best.
Like
it was
guys,
just like everybody got a medal. We're like, oh.
You know me, and this entire podcast is going to be about how to be more positive in your life. But I do have to say this: you have to learn to lose gracefully. There is a winner and there is a loser. There are no points for second place.
But there's the thing about competing. It's like, if you don't win, you're like, who am I? I'm nothing. And then you win and you look down at all of the girls that are like, oh, who am I? I'm not winning. And it's so hard
to they were like
walking
out crying.
But I mean, it's so hard to win. It is as hard to be first place as it is to be any of the other I mean, I've never been less than on the pulpit, like at the very end. So I don't know what it's like to walk away 30th. I don't know what that's like, but I guess that it feels just as awful as being fifth because you're not first. And it feels just as awful to be first because you're not fifth. And you're like, oh, that person must feel so bad. But when you all walk away with medal, you're like, why do I even try? Because I walk away with medal.
It's one of those things where you look at it and you go, okay, let's take Kai Green and Phil Heath. I love Kai Green. Like he's one of my avatars. Been for years. And he went up against Phil Heath numerous times. And it was always down to Phil and Kai at the end at Mr. Olympia. This is the best of the best in the world in bodybuilding. And I mean, these guys were neck and neck. And every year, Phil won. Every year. Kai,
but at least they all got a participation medal.
He got a second place medal. But he didn't get the title Mr. Olympia.
I think even fifth place is kind of a little bit too much.
I agree. However, Kai lost gracefully. He admitted he didn't win, and he walked away and said, I got work to do. Every year until he retired and decided that his life was going in a different direction, he said, I got work to do. It's time to get to work.
You know, it was really crazy because I went to the bathroom afterwards. You know, girls pee a lot. We do this. And I went to the bathroom, and there was this girl that was like, crying, and she was doing her pee test because of course they got to pee test everybody because it's a natural test. And
they were pee testing in the bathroom?
They were pee testing in the bathroom. But she was crying, and I'm like, hey girl, what's going on? Was that a rough pee or what? You know. And I knew what had happened. She's like, I just feel like I could have done better. And I said, sweetheart, did you do the very best that you possibly could? And she's like, yeah. And I said, did you beat your own personal best? And she said, yeah. And I'm like, then you won.
And that's what that participation medal is for. You should be so proud of it.
But not everybody gets a medal. It's like either you win or you don't. Like money doesn't
just
lie.
Lose gracefully, man.
Either you succeed in business and you make enough money to sustain your family, or you're on the streets. There is no participation medal.
That is so true. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's the truest thing I've heard yet about participation medals, because
it's just realness.
Like if you lose in business,
you just lose.
You lose, dude. You don't. Nobody goes, oh, hey, good job. Come here, have a $50,000 or $100,000 bonus check. Now you don't get.
I mean, it does make a difference. You know, are you capable of paying for the upgraded vehicle?
Probably not.
When you okay, that's okay. But do you have a vehicle? Okay, cool. That's your participation medal.
Maybe
Can you not afford a
vehicle.
car? Like, that's a problem. Like, you don't get a participation medal for that.
Can you afford food to feed yourself now that you lost in business? Probably not. Do you get a participation medal when you fail in your marriage? Probably not. Do you get a participation medal when you fail at being a father or a mother? There's no second place. It's either you give it all you got or you don't. You get one shot at this shit. Nope, there's my mouth. It was bound to happen sooner or later.
It's true, though. It's absolutely true. Like, are you really trying? Or do you think that there will be no competitors in your class? Well, nobody.
I like that. Am I going to skate by? No. And even if you are going to skate by, I would expect that every single one of you out there works as hard as fucking possible. That you put your heart and soul into whatever it is that you're doing. In the long run, this is the way you look at it. You are your biggest competitor. I always tell people this isn't a game of who we can be better than. It's a game of can you be better than you were yesterday? And how much better can I be? Not just with my physique, but with life and my attitude towards everything else. How positive am I? How far have I gone? How far have I leveled up? How much have I helped the human race? Those are the big things.
But that is like the biggest part. Is celebrating the reverse gap. It's recognizing, okay, I've come this far, not just where am I going? Because if we always look to where we're going, we're always going to feel like we're not enough. We're always going to be depressed. We're always going to feel like something is freaking missing.
Isn't that the surgery they do on women after babies where they like tighten them up to reverse the gap? No.
I don't know.
I'll celebrate the reverse gap for you.
Celebrate I never got that, did I?
No, you had the C-section, so
See, my sister.
fine down there.
I remember my sister saying though, excuse me, I know, like, is it okay if you just sew me up just a little bit tighter? Her husband's like, hey,
freshie.
freshie.
Well, anyway, back
Yeah.
to the contest. So Davey got 5th. Congratulations to David Larson. This was his first year competing.
Huge.
I think maybe a total of
Huge.
6 months competing at the very most. Maybe.
And the man is a natural beast. He works
Amazing.
so hard.
Amazing. Dude.
And he has crushed every single competition. I mean, nothing is going to top your very first competition.
That he
And I
just went
hate
in
to
and
burst
slaughtered.
your bubbles. Like your very first competition, you just have something in you. It's Gabe and I call it the fuego. Maybe you've heard of
Actually, you called the fuego.
it. Okay. Or maybe you've heard it called your mojo.
And I
or your
also call it the
flow. Okay. There we go. Or Gabe and I also call it being in the vortex. It's like that place of like all good things flowing into one place. You know what I love about doing a podcast together instead of
me.
one of us by ourselves? When you need to take a drink of water, there's not awkward silence. You just get
It's
to
not
take your drink of
strange.
water and the other person talks. Like,
And everybody that's listening doesn't go, what the hell happened? Did they go dead air? What's the deal?
yeah, or they're waiting with bated breath, like, what is she going to say next? And you're like, oh, it's going to be something good as you're guzzling water, but then maybe they can hear you slurping, and that's awkward.
Well, let's talk about this weekend because we always talk about stuff that we did and exciting stuff that happened this week or the previous week when we get on the podcast. And so we went to Vegas. We went for Davey. We got there on a Friday morning. We picked up the Huracan.
But
A 2015
we kind of sort of
Lambo
accidentally left on Thursday night. Hey.
Oh, that happened.
Stayed in a little
Did we
hotel,
get
a big
schmammered?
hotel.
We got schmammered that night, huh?
Of course not.
No, we don't get schmammered.
We don't do that.
We save that for I don't remember much about that night. I don't know what that was. Anyway, so our flight left at 8 a.m. Friday morning. We get on the plane, instantly make friends with the flight attendants. Did we drink on the way over? I don't remember. Do we have a cocktail?
Does Raggedy Ann have cotton titties?
I can't remember because there was a lot
Does
of
Pinocchio have
blackouts.
wooden kneecaps? You know what I was
So
saying.
by 8:30 a.m., we were enjoying a cocktail, which is the only way to do Vegas. We get there.
I mean, I wasn't, just Gabe.
Justin, my boy from Diplomat Rentals, if you guys want to look him up and his badass cars, his Instagram is, guess what? Diplomat Rentals. Dude's awesome. Picked us up in this Rolls-Royce Ghost. Like, I'm talking a bitch of a car. The thing is beautiful. And he takes us to the Cosmo. We drop off our bags, get back in. He drives us over to the SLS where his establishment is. And there waiting for us was a beautiful 2015 White Rabbit, a.k.a. the Lamborghini Huracan, which I force myself into every time.
And we accidentally had a really amazing time.
Accidentally. Yeah. Friday night, we were at Rose Rabbit Lie, which is kind of a 1950s supper club.
I don't know why we do that every time on a Friday night.
You
because
can't
it's
top
like
it.
our first, you can't top it. It's like, that is going to be the best night. That is freaking epic. We go home with stars in our eyes every time. We know every single band member by name. They come up and give Gabe hugs because it's his birthday week. Ridiculousness.
Especially Sky.
Especially, why are you in love with her? It's a
I
problem.
love her. She's amazing.
So she is probably this like 200-pound black lady that just is obsessed with Gabriel.
She's not obsessed with me. She's obsessed with loving life. She's amazing.
Okay, that is
She's
so,
got pipes for days. That
It's
girl
true.
can
It's
sing.
true. She's amazing. She's
Probably the
amazing.
most positive person I've ever met. I love her.
She just makes us feel good when we're there, and she lets Gabe know that he's the most special person in the room.
Yes,
and he
that
is.
happens.
You are a beautiful
Well,
little.
when we were there
no
for your
participation
birthday
medals.
in April, she called me out like in the middle of a song, because they come around. The singers literally walk around the entire club, and it's a
'Cause
small
she's like-
club, and they dance on the stage and on the tables and shit. But like they walk around, And she walked right up to me and she's like, Gabe, you need to get out here. And, but she sits down.
Actually, she's like, I put a spell on you.
Oh, that's what it was.
Gabe, because you're mine. And I'm like, I'll stab you. Actually, I'm like, go on.
So she made me dance. She sat in the chair. She's like, you need to entertain me. I'm like, oh, I got some moves, honey. You just wanted this.
That's so cute.
A couple of Jack and Cokes or a couple of Johnny Walkers, and I'm good to go.
Actually, what was crazy is that was only like our third or fourth time at Rose Rabbit Lie. They remembered our drinks, brought us our drinks, came up, gave us hugs, remembered us by name. But we kind of like don't shut up when we go places. If we like something and like somebody, you know it within like a minute.
Well, and think the guys too, this is a fitness podcast. We are the founders of Body Spartan.
But when we play, we play.
When we're big advocates of living a normal life. Monday through Friday, we work hard. Saturday and Sunday, we work hard. And then every couple months, we let loose. That, I think, is the perfect balance. If you're competing, different story. If you're doing Genesis.
Oh my gosh, I was like 9 months without like any sort of anything.
Yeah, we went for a very long time. Well, hang on. Wait, we went to Vegas in April. Went to Vegas in July.
You said when you're competing.
Oh, yeah, when you're competing.
That is a different. There was no participation medal.
No.
No.
Well, the point is, what I'm saying is that, if you're doing our Genesis program or Unleashed program, you're on a program or you're competing, you don't get to play. You don't get to go cheat. I mean, you're on it.
You don't want to. It's like either you're in it or you're not.
Yeah, you're trying to make the goal. You don't want to go blow your diet. You don't want to go drink for 4 days on binges and stay up till 6 a.m., doing crazy shit, getting your fingers tattooed. I'm just saying, like, that did happen.
I am so shocked that's all you said. Anyways.
I don't think I can talk about everything that happened.
Okay.
Or can I?
I don't know. You might in 9 months. So
okay,
you
well,
had some
hang
really
on.
We're good. Let's.
Well, we have to be honest on the podcast because now we've got everybody stirred
always,
up. Always. 100%.
I think we're good on that one.
What are you talking? No, we have to be honest on the podcast.
All right.
So we had a very late night Saturday. It was Saturday night, right?
Yeah, but I didn't even realize how late it was. It was like we went to the contest and it's like one thing after another. Like we're just playing
We're
and
down
playing.
At the bar. We moved the party to our suite. Priscilla was really drunk. So was I. We had a lot of alcohol that we brought back to the suite. And we wake up the next morning. It must have been, I think I was even up by like 9:30. And we got breakfast. On the way down to breakfast, basically, what did I say? What was the first thing I said? I can't remember.
You're like, good morning, sweetie. Oh my gosh. We were up to like 5:30 or 6. And you might be pregnant.
That's exactly what happened.
I'm like, actually, no, I was like, what? Yeah. Like I was really, really livid. And I'm like,
you were hot for a minute. You were so mad.
No, I really almost punched him in the jugular, but I kind of used some self-control. And I was like, you know what? That could be awesome.
Yeah. So guys, if you're looking for, to add an addition to your family, what you need to do is just not tell her what's going on in the moment. So all that being said, the other cool thing that's happening about Vegas.
Look over there. Yes.
The other cool thing that happened this week is we teamed up with a company called EdgeFit Products. We have been checking out their stuff. We've been using this new pre-workout. It's vaporized caffeine and taurine, and that's it. Those are the only two ingredients. Well, there's glycerol in it because it's got to be a liquid solution. But there's no nicotine. It's a vape pen, and Howard, Brandon, myself, Kate, Priscilla, and Aaron, we've all tried it, and the stuff's amazing. There's nothing in it.
Vape pen is like so freaking scary. Basically, it's like an inhalant.
Well, it is an
like
inhalant.
If you've ever had asthma and you've taken medicine, if you've ever gone outside and I don't know, breathed, it's pretty much the same thing. Only it's way safer than the stuff that you breathe outside or when you're cleaning your house.
Yeah, if you're cleaning your bathroom with bleach, you have more of a chance of irritating your lungs than you with this product.
Irritating? Are you kidding me? A bathroom with bleach?
Here we go.
I'm not even going to go there. I'm just not going to. But this is I'm very, very careful with my system and with my body. And this stuff is 100% amazing.
Well, my point is we love this product. And say goodbye to powders. Like pre-workout powders, say goodbye to energy drinks that are loaded with sugars and artificial sweeteners and all this crap. And
tastes like garbage.
Hello, totally natural caffeine and taurine. Like there's nothing else in it. And the cool thing is the entire pen is only 0.5 milliliters. They're disposable pens that you buy. They're going to go in your pocket. It's really easy to carry around and put them in your gym bag, put them in your car in the center console. There's
But
0.5
keep those
milliliters.
caps on if you keep them on the plane.
That
If
too.
they come with little caps on the top
Keep
and the
your caps.
bottom. You keep the caps on.
We don't want it to leak. The point
Well,
is,
only if you fly.
can I explain this? I know you're excited. Quit fucking cutting me off. I'll get you pregnant again.
I don't know if you can.
Is that possible? So the whole
That's it. You're having quadruplets.
while you're sleeping, I stuck another one in there. The look I just got. The whole pen has 0.5
No,
milliliters
you don't
of
understand. Our
solution in
first kid was 10 pounds.
I'm going-
I'm like several of those at the same time.
I'm never
No
going to get
thanks.
this out. The
Okay,
whole
go ahead.
pen has 0.5 milliliters of solution in it. And in that solution, there is less than 0.3 milligrams of caffeine. So you could just literally vape the entire pen. And in a healthy adult, you'd be totally fine. What I found after using it is that some people need 2 to 3 puffs, basically 10 minutes before you work out. And some people need a second round. And on an average, it'll last you about 30 days. And I find that 2 to 3 puffs is good for me. Surprisingly, because I'm a big dude. And my barber actually gave a pen to him, Jose, down at Valentino's. And he's like, bro, I love this. This is amazing. I caught him in the gym the other day. I was asking about it. And he goes, I had to take a couple hits because I didn't really feel it the first time. But I went back out. I took another couple puffs. And that was like the sweet spot, dude. He goes, I'm thinking about like using this instead of coffee in the morning. Well, dude, yeah, why not? It's it's just caffeine. You're gonna be fine. But anyway, all this to say, they're in a pre-order right now, and they're shipping their next round on 12/1. So December 1st, these go out. They're $34.95 a pen. So if you think about the cost of a pre-workout and all the shit that's in it, and all the times that people have been to the hospital with AFib, and I'm just saying, it might have happened to me, and other people that have died on pre-workouts, this is kind of a neat alternative, and it's pretty much instantaneous. I would say go pick one up, guys. It's edgefitproducts.com, and I'm going to give you a promo code. It's going to give you 10% off. These guys are super cool. It's edge, the number 10, the letter P, 4%. Edge 10P.
EDG
Oh my
E10 what?
Edge 10P for 10% off. Edge Fit Products. Go grab a pen. You guys are going to love them. They ship out December 1, so you'll probably get them within that week. And I promise you guys, once you try it, you're never going to want to do anything else. It's amazing. Okay, so I think that's really all the super exciting stuff.
I feel like
that
there's
happened.
like a ton of super exciting stuff, but apparently you have this amazing topic that you want to jump into tonight. The one podcast that we've ever done that I haven't completely made articulate notes for, and you wouldn't even tell me really what we're going over. So let's
I'm just
dig into
feeling
this.
very passionate
Let's do
about
this.
this,
Let's
and
do this.
it's on my heart and all the time. Let me explain to you guys. When I do my motivational videos, the best ones are when I've been in the moment. The best ones have been when something's on my heart, and it's usually either tragic or epic. Either way, I just go upstairs and I just get a video out. And
Mostly tragic. It's okay though. That's truth.
dude, ever since I got back from Vegas, I can't breathe out of my nose, and I've been coughing up like casino smoke. Oh, it's terrible.
And hookers? No.
And I've been coughing up hookers. I shoved a couple down my throat, tried to bring them home with me.
Ew.
I was a hooker mule. Well, here's what I want to talk about tonight.
I'm going to get you a shirt that says impregnator.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. The Impregnator. Coming this June. Actually, that sounds about right. Yeah. Anyways, go on.
I'll be weird at June, baby.
Oh, that would be so weird. Wait, is it June? July?
Non-Scorpio?
That just like totally came out. I mean, yay, I'm not the only non-Scorpio in the house. Even our dogs are Scorpios. Like, goodness sakes.
Well, okay. So tonight's topic, I don't really have a name for it, but I think it's incredibly important to discuss how to continue to level up. Because our goal is to pass on the information as it comes to us. And you guys that are listening, this podcast is really here to help you follow our success and try to steer you away from making the mistakes that we've made, or at least explain to you the experiences that we've had.
It's almost like how you know you've already leveled up. This is a sign that lets you know that you have leveled up, and it freaking sucks.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people don't recognize the sign. So they will allow these things to play out. And what I'm really getting at, guys, is
the sign you know you've leveled up. That's our name.
The sign you know you've leveled up. How you know you've
leveled up.
Achievement
You've leveled up,
unlocked.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, leveling up doesn't mean you're better than anybody else. It just means that you
might even mean that life's harder.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But what it does mean is that your brain has awakened a little bit more, or maybe your spirit, or your journey in life from point A to point B, whatever your destiny may be. Because I truly believe that we all have a destiny that we create and that we're heading towards that. Even though I've got no fate inked onto my fingertips right now, because I don't believe in fate. I believe there's no fate but what we make. What I'm getting at is that as you awaken this new part of your brain, you start to recognize the old cycles that you were in.
You are born with a passion to be something. I mean, I can see it in our 5-year-old. Yes, but I can see our baby and I can see her passions already and those things that she's compelled to do where she will disobey in order to be absolutely hilarious. She cannot stop herself because she has this like draw towards comedy and entertaining and dancing, and you have that same desire within you. We have that same desire within us. We're being pulled, and it's that crap that's stopping us that is keeping us from leveling up. And when you level up, you're saying, no, thank you, that thing, because I'm going to go towards my destiny.
Well, a lot of times that crap that is stopping us are family and friends.
People. It might be a gerbil. It might be a pet gerbil. I haven't heard of a situation like this, but
or a hamster.
Or a hamster.
Or in our case, it might have been a rooster.
It might have been. Okay, yes.
I don't think I ever told anybody how that ended.
Let's talk about that later, because I don't want to cry on this podcast.
Some of you might have known that we had a rooster that adopted us.
So
for 2 weeks.
It was longer than that.
This is not what I was getting at with the point of the podcast. But
no, not even close. But the rooster, actually, I feel like this is a really good metaphor. So this rooster shows up the very first day that we are home alone as a family after puppy of 16 years.
She was 17. We had her for she was almost 2 when we got her. What the vets think.
Yeah, so we had her for 15.
Over
we
15
didn't
years.
know our marriage without her, barely. And our daughter didn't know her life without her. Our other dog didn't know life without her. So she left, and this rooster just
well, when
shows
you said
up.
she left, she passed.
She went to Baconland.
She passed.
She went sad. It was horrible.
Very sad.
And this rooster came to heal our hearts.
It was crazy.
And walks in our freaking front door.
Like literally, guys, we opened the door. The
like,
rooster walked in our house. And
we live in the city. We are not on a farm. We are not like somewhere in the boondocks. No, we live in the middle of a city. We've got a Pete's down the street. We've got a Walgreens. Like everything's normal. It's Pleasantville here. And this rooster walks in the house.
Not just walks in, but like gets up on the sink. Lets our daughter give it a bath in the sink. It sat on the soap dispenser on the sink.
No, it was pumping.
It was pumping soap. Okay, and it let Priscilla.
I'm like, that's organic dish
on
soap.
multiple
Stop.
occasions. It just slept on our front door and shit everywhere. There was shit all over.
And it went around like
our sidewalk was made of shit. So we basically befriended this. It would let me pet it.
Fell in love with the little guy.
Mia could pet it. Priscilla could pet it. And then one morning, this was track day, wasn't it?
The guy was like, he would come to the door. He'd see me in the kitchen washing dishes, and the sink is facing the street, and there's a big window, and it like attacked the window if I don't let him in.
Well, and there was one night when he flew up to the second story at Mia's window, at my daughter's window, and tried to get in that way. I don't know, chickens can fly that high.
Scared the pee of her. She's like, he scared me to. I'm like, oh,
well,
sweetheart, were you frightened? He scared me to death.
It was track day. It was a Friday morning. It was 5:30 in the morning. And, oh no, it wasn't track day. It was when I went to the city to Facebook with Brian. Right?
I think it was track. No, you're right. You're right.
Because this was
track
recent.
Day went perfect.
Track day. There was nothing weird. So Brian Fikes, my chief marketing officer, and I we got invited to a Facebook conference. It was really cool. It was the Disruptor Conference. So they picked about 300 businesses.
Are you still farting?
No, I'm clean, man. Everything's good.
You promise?
I swear.
Because I might need to have like a snorkel that goes out the window or something.
Whoa. He who smelt it, dealt it. Priscilla.
I don't do that. Look at me. I'm adorable.
Yeah, whatever. I've smelled your poop.
I have never, ever done that.
Girls don't poop and girls don't fart. It's a well-known fact. Anyway, so I opened the door at 5 o'clock in the morning because this rooster is crowing like a motherfucker, right? I'm talking like it's sitting on the doorstep crowing, doing its rooster thing. And I'm like, hey, shh, be quiet. And it won't stop. And I'm like, you're going to wake up my daughter and my wife, and I got to get out of here. And it's just going and going and going and going. So I go get a broom. And I was actually using the broom the day before to shoo it a little bit. And Bristol's like, do not break my broom. That's my good broom.
No, I didn't say it was my good broom. I'm like, I bought that broom because it makes me feel abundant. Please.
Please don't use it as
Please
your
don't
shoer.
use that broom.
Don't shoo the chicken.
Use
Anyway,
something else. Use
so
anything
I'm like,
else.
we've got a pedestal on the front doorstep that it was just sitting on and shitting on. And it was sitting there. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go like shoo him away. So I get the broom. I open the door and I give him a little tiny little push and he doesn't move. I'm like, come on, man.
He's
Just
just
go.
like,
Just go. Yeah, he goes, "Rrr." And I go, just come on, go. And I push him a little harder, and he still doesn't go. And it's like this cartoon where like you push and it like kind of moves, and you push and it kind of moves. I'm like, all right, I push him a little harder. Still, I'm like, bro, come on, man. And I'm being super nice to the chicken, and finally, I just keep pushing till it falls off the pedestal. I'm like, okay, cool.
Did you say it just kept roostering?
No, I said I just kept pushing until it fell off the pedestal. And that motherfucker, he reared up on me. As soon as he hit the ground, he went ape shit. Like, I'm talking, you would have thought he was Harambe. Like, the thing went nuts. It starts flapping its freaking feathers and poking its chest out and going nuts and going.
And Gabe's like, no, not
I'm like,
my
okay,
beautiful face.
whatever. I'm like, chill
not
out,
my
dude.
Dreadlocks.
So the fucking thing flies at me, like claws out, like it was just coming out of a fresh cockfight. And like my door's wide open. I'm like, oh, hell no, you ain't gonna get in the house. I'm like, instinct kicks in. I swung that broom like I was Babe Ruth hitting his final home run.
Because you kind of didn't want your face scratched off.
And I didn't know chickens were that heavy because when that broom hit, I was like, oh, that's heavy. The broom folded in two on me.
My abundance broom.
The chicken goes, "Meow." And it looked at me, walked away really slowly, and never came back. Ever.
But the thing was, it kind of attached to me, and it's like, mama. And then it started like chasing the chihuahua and then scaring the kid and then attacking the husband. Like, really, I feel like it was just trying to get to me.
The point of this metaphor is that the things that may not always be what they seem. Getting back to the story.
Well,
getting back to the topic.
it tore up our yard, and it was making us feel like lack because our yard was destroyed. There was poop all over our front deck.
We felt bad because we didn't want to get rid of it. We like it was
Right.
our friend. We thought. Anyway.
Oh my gosh, that is the perfect metaphor.
It's a crazy metaphor.
It is a crazy
What
metaphor.
I'm getting at, though, is that in order to level up, and Jim Rohn said this, who is, by the way, who is Tony Robbins' mentor, and I've mentioned this many times before on different podcasts. I just want to go in a little bit more in depth on it because it's so important. That you are the cumulative sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And a lot of times...
And don't plug your ears. We know we talk about this all the time. It's important, you guys.
Sometimes I'm repetitive, but I'm repetitive on purpose. It's so important. Sometimes the people in your life that you think are important are actually the ones that are holding you back. Because you care about what they think. You care about what they think about you. You're worried about their response. You're worried about how they might feel. You're worried about, are your parents going to be okay if you move away?
And if you're worried, that's a tip-off. Maybe something's not right.
Are you
Maybe
worried about what
misaligned.
your mom and your dad might say if you got your fingers tattooed?
And Gabe said it so well to me over the weekend. He's like, powerful women don't ask for permission. They just do. And he wasn't talking about him because all of you know I'm old-fashioned. I am
the hookers.
I have a level of subservience to me when it comes to my marriage. But we both cannot be the king of the kingdom. I'm the queen. He is the king. He is the head of the household. I'm the neck that turns the head where I want it to go. Whoops. Who said that? Somebody's saying stuff. But
just that little jab in there, huh?
But it's true. It's like, am I going to call my mom every time I want to make a Facebook post? No. If I feel in my heart that what I'm saying is powerful and what I am saying is right, then I need to speak out and not be hindered by even the person that I love more than anybody on the face of this earth.
I mean, that is a really good, and I want to use us as examples so that people will understand. That is a great thing.
It's hard to say it too, because, oh my gosh, you guys have no idea how much I love my mother. But I'm not going to
You care about what your parents see.
So much.
You care about how they might feel if you were to say something incorrect or present yourself in a way that
paralyzing. It is paralyzing.
It's hard. And does it I personally, I think it prevents you from being everything that you could be.
In all honesty, he wasn't just giving me this advice and being a jerk about it. I asked him, we have these delicious conversations. Like, we are the best of friends. And I asked him this question. I'm like, if you had a superpower, like of all the superpowers that you have, the things that you excel in, what would you give to me? What piece of yourself, what piece of your awesomeness would you give to me? And he said, do you remember what you said?
The ability to make decisions that are life-changing without the concern that you might affect other people. Mm-hmm. Or without the concern that it was something to the effect of it was life-changing, the ability to make life-changing decisions without having to weigh the
or
thoughts.
Ask permission.
It was
from
basically
somebody else. And I don't
worry about
I don't
what certain
literally
people will think.
Right. And I don't literally, I'm like, hey mom, hey dad, hey whoever. Like, what do you think about if I say this? But I do go through those scenarios. Ooh, am I showing too much cleavage? Is my shirt too tight? Like,
did I say the wrong thing?
Right. Oh my gosh. Like, are they going to take that wrong? Because I was raised like that. But even more than that, you guys, when you level up, people drop out of your life. I remember when I was losing weight. And I was probably 45 or somewhere between 45 to 65 pounds down. And I looked around and I realized I didn't have any friends. And I'm like, holy crap. I mean, I had a couple, but we were kind of not estranged, but we just didn't hang out. Because I realized all of my best buddies were coming over to hang out and eat pizza and drink alcohol, and that was no longer my game anymore. And I wasn't having those parties. We weren't hanging out like that anymore. And so suddenly I found myself alone. And suddenly I had people looking at me like, oh, well, you think now that you're like losing all this weight, you're like, I'm like, no, I don't. I want the same for you. Or I wouldn't even talk to them about my weight loss. I was just myself. But people judge when you succeed because they look at themselves in the mirror and they're like, am I enough? Am I okay to be the way that I am? Because if you are getting better, and oh my gosh, you guys, this is part of marriage too. When your spouse, your girlfriend, or your boyfriend is leveling up in their life, they're losing weight, they're making more money, they're doing personal development. And Gabe and I went through all of this. We had to level up together, and we had that strain of one person leveling up faster than the other person, and it's been both sides. You will lose friends and you will find yourself alone. But there is something on the other side that is way better than what you had before. There are new friends coming. There are new people coming. And you got to just chill and realize that the people that have dropped off for a reason, because they're not ready to change their life. But you're on the right course, my friend. And as long as you're not looking down your nose, feeling like you're better than them, and you're really making right choices and you're really growing in your life, then you're doing the right thing. And everything is working as it should be, because those people are going to hold you back.
And I think it's really important to understand that there are people that need to be let go in your life in order for you to level up. And sometimes it might be a marriage. And that is where, because you mentioned that, you mentioned how...
I think of Elizabeth Ashley right away.
Well, yeah. And is it a healthy relationship for you? Maybe, maybe not. And the other thing that you got to think of is like,
are you being abused and suddenly you have this self-respect and you're 5 pounds down like she is?
Can your spouse change? Because in my personal opinion, I know you share this, the marriage is sacred. And you and I are in the minority right now because we've been married for 15 years, 15 and a half years now. We are the minority. Both our parents are still married, so we had really good examples to follow. And when it comes to Priscilla and I, we have come to understand that there is nothing we can't work through, even though at the time it seems like it's the end of the world, the sky is falling.
And these things still happen. We're like, oh, this is the end. Okay, all right.
Yeah, this is definitely the end.
It's
over.
100,000 times.
We're we're totally human, but also what we remember is that, okay, if you step away from the situation, I recognize that Priscilla and I are more powerful together, and that we're soulmates. We're twin flames. And there is nothing I wouldn't do to keep her in my life. And one of the things that we've both realized is that we help each other level up, and that I would be where I am today without her, and she wouldn't be where she is today without me. We both build each other up. We grow together, which is one of the best parts about our marriage.
And we are the biggest hurdle for one another, too.
We are. We're the biggest hurdle.
It is like
Gabe,
so
Gabe,
backwards.
Okay, sitting in the chair as he's getting the drill. Are you absolutely sure that you want the word no on your hand?
Do you really want to look down and see the word fate?
Yes.
Every day.
I fucking do. It was this weird interaction.
All I did was ask.
And I asked her, I said, is it you? Do you care? No, I just want to make sure you're fine.
Well, what's so funny is I have been in resistance to every single one of his tattoos. Every single one of his tattoos, I'm like, oh, that's going to look really lame. Or, oh, this just feels weird. Or, oh, do you really want that? And with the last one, the Phoenix, there was just this message of shut up. Shut up. We were scraping by financially. And here he goes and gets his entire sleeve done. And I'm like, I don't know where we are going to even get the money. Well, and this idea is ridiculous.
You have to understand it was 44 hours of work. So every session's about 3 to 4 hours.
You guys. And we are both working and we're raising this baby.
$150 an hour. This is before body Spartan.
And I'm like, you're selfish. You're this, you're that. And I'm like thinking all these terrible things. But I'm like, I refuse for the very first time. I refuse to say a word. I'm going to go with him. I'm going to see what this is. And you guys, like with tears in my eyes, I tell you that this tattoo explains our lives up until this point. And I didn't get it then, but I get it now. And that was whole no fate thing. It's like I knew to just shut up and not say anything. All I said was, do you really want the word no? And do you really want the word fate on your knuckles forever? Like
as
forever,
I'm sitting
ever.
in the chair, the drill's buzzing, he's getting ready, the ink's up. I'm like, really? Right now? I'm like, go away.
I was just like, are you sure? Because I like see it in pen, you know. But he could have stopped then. Oh, yeah. You're right. But we walk out of that tattoo parlor 5 hours later. It was supposed to be an hour. 5 hours later, we walk out. And I take his hand in my hand, and it was just this resounding yes. And it's not always going to work out that swimmingly. We've been together 20 years. But the people you love the most are going to be the ones that stop you because they're the ones that have the power to stop you. Because they're the ones that have the power to stop everyone, which is why everybody stops.
No, this is the tattoo. This isn't what most people go through.
Just a tattoo.
This is not what most people go through. This is a good example of some things that come up. But I'm talking about really leveling up in life where you have a thing that you need to do, or there's a part of you, something you need to become.
Permanent ink on your body is a huge deal.
Well, especially on my fingers.
I'm like, I'm going to see you till you're like 105.
This was the biggest
like,
fuck you to the corporate
want
world
that
just says, I am never going back.
I don't expect that you, and your dreadlocks and your
I'm
like crazy weird attitude.
I'm never going back.
I don't know, you're a crazy boy. But also like losing weight was a huge thing.
Well,
for me, it was like this huge, like everybody's like, whoa, and we're going to pretend it's not happening until we can't pretend it's not happening anymore. And we don't know what to do. And
well, it's more about becoming who it is you're supposed to be, or who you should become, or who you think you should become.
We're about to get deeper.
Here's the thing. We're all hampered by what other people think. We care about what other people think, so much so that we post on Instagram and Facebook daily. And we check it daily. And what's the first thing we look for? How many likes did I get? Did so-and-so like my picture? Or this deep, profound statement I put up that's going to be in somebody's feed for about 24 hours and then it'll be forgotten about forever. That is how much we care about what other people think.
And there's one thing, you want to know that you're making an impact in this world. And we're not saying that it's bad to look how many likes and how many souls you've reached with this impacting thing. But he's right. Are we just looking for validation?
Well, That's part of it. But we're looking for validation from other people that are close to us.
Especially specific.
Friends and family. People that are close to us are usually the ones that are going to hold you back. And here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to think of the 5 people that you spend the most time with right now. And I'm sure you don't have to pull out your phone and open up a notepad and make a list. In your head.
This is outside of your immediate family that lives with you. Because I know my baby can be a butthead sometimes. And I'm like, I'm going to do so much PD, it's not even funny.
Hang on.
Like, I'm going to sit there and meditate
Obviously,
for like
this does not apply to your children, but it applies to your spouse. You know, if you spend 12 hours a day with your spouse, or if she or he is the next, other than people you work with, because a lot of people, they go to work. They spend 8 hours, 9 hours a day at work, and then they spend a couple hours at home.
But the way that you're saying this is coming across like you're an advocate that divorce is an option.
Well, that is why I was getting at what I was getting at earlier, and I think I got a little sidetracked. But what I was saying is that you got to make the decision. For Priscilla and I, it's not an option. Divorce is not an option.
Says him. Because I'm the girl that's like, I can't do it anymore. And he's like, divorce is not an option.
How many times has that saved our marriage?
He makes me strong.
Because I'm adamant that...
It's like 5 more. I can't do it. You will do it. It's like, oh, I
you're
love
done
it.
when I say you're done.
Yes. And sometimes when you need that extra strength, that person that gives you strength, you're like, yes. Yeah, because he's just making me look at my own inner self. He's like, your inner self says there is no divorce.
I mean, there was a time when we thought everything was over. Priscilla was like...
A few times.
It's done, dude. Like, you are an ass. Like, basically called me out on some shit. She's like, I can't live like this.
I didn't say it like that, though.
No, there was a very definitive moment where I felt like...
Like, I love you.
Yeah,
and I can't help you.
That's exactly what it was. I was in a bad way that I'd got myself in. And when the words came out of her mouth, you ever hear like a power grid power down? Like, I felt that. That I remembered that moment so distinctly. It's one of those moments in your life that you never forget. Because I knew she was serious.
I have never said anything with more love and compassion, though.
Which
like, just so much love from my guy.
Because it woke me up. Like, literally, like, I felt everything. Like, I felt my energy from my head go just cold all the way down to my feet, and everything shut down. I was like, whoa. This woke me up right now. And needless to say, we're still together because I instantly was like, I will do anything. I'll change. Like, let me just, we figured it out. And it was me. It was totally 100% me. But we figured it out.
And let me promise you, I've been on the other side of that.
And here's what I'm getting at. It may not be that situation for everybody. Perfect example. One of our avatars, Tony Robbins. Toxic relationship. He got divorced. He got remarried to Sage, right? That's her name? Mm-hmm. They've been happy forever. Forever is a long time, but they're very happy. They support each other. They have similar goals. I'm
sure they still have problems.
I am 99.9% sure that one of the reasons Priscilla and I are still together is that our goals are in line. We want the same thing. We want to be happy. We want to wake up in the morning and be grateful. We want to live a grateful life, and we want to excel at the things that we do. We want to build body Spartan.
The number one reason was because of our goals?
Yeah.
Well,
our goals are in line.
But I want to say our number one goal is to live in the highest vibration possible. And that means being so selfish that we make our relationship right even when the other person is wrong. And we go up and we say, I'm sorry. And we say, how do I fix this? And I love you. And how can I serve you? Because being selfishly oriented means making the relationship right all the time because we want to live a good vibration. We want to be happy. And happiness means making the marriage right and being copacetic. Because divorce is not fun. Boo. Lame.
Well, yes, exactly. So,
but the other goals, definitely.
The 5 people you spend the most time with, and if it's your spouse, I want to get your spouse on there. And then I want you to think about these 5 people. And I want you to think about your goals. So one of the exercises that I have people do, and I actually did this on the Spartan Army call yesterday. Was today Wednesday? Yeah, yesterday we had the Spartan Army call. It's a once-a-month video call that we do where Priscilla or I will get on a webcam We'll talk to the entire Spartan Army, so our members that subscribe to our member section. We get about an hour call where we present, like we get a bunch of notes, very in-depth fitness tips, life tips, kind of like this podcast. If we don't get the witty, silly banter that Priscilla and I have, but it's a lot more technical.
And passionate, man.
Yeah, I had this, basically I had them do this. I said, look, I want you to get your iPhone out, your Android out. If you're in the kitchen and there's a pen next to you and some paper, go over to your desk, whatever it takes right now, whatever you're doing, if you're driving, pull over because this is important. This is going to change your life. And so I'm going to say this to you right now. Do the same thing. If you're in the car, pull over, take a second. If you're at home, whip out your iPhone or your Android, open up the notepad. If you're on the computer, open up a Word doc or something you can type on. And I want you guys to write down your goals. I want to know what the big goal is to start with. Is it spiritual? Is it physical? Is it physique? Is it monetary, financial? What is the big goal that you want to achieve? And I want it to be lofty. And I want you to write that down at the top. And then what I want you to do is I want you to start setting some small goals, just like Priscilla said earlier, so that we can celebrate the small successes and then look back at the reverse gap, which is how far you've come, not how far you have to go. And so the first thing that we're going to do is go, okay, we want to get to point X, which is your big goal. What are you going to do in the next 30 days to get there, to kickstart this? How are you going to do that? I want you to write that down right now. Type it into your phone. Take a moment. Think about it. If you're driving and you absolutely can't pull over, that's fine. But just think about it. What are you going to do in the next 30 days? And when you get that, I want you to know what you're going to do, where you're going to be in the next 3 months. And then I want 6 months. And then I want 9 months. And then I want a year. This is the tangible roadmap to how you're going to get from point A to point B. And in a year, you may not be at the finish line. You may not be to that lofty goal that you had. Because, I mean, if you're, hey, I want $50 million in the bank and I want to own a yacht and I want to have a small empire, well, that's going to take a couple years to build.
And stay with us. This is going to wrap back into who you spend the most time with. Watch this.
It absolutely will. And I want you to not just write down the month, like, the 3-month mark, the 30-day, 3-month, 6-month. I want dates. I want it to be whatever day today is when you're listening to this podcast. I want you to go ahead 30 days. That'd be 1 month. So if you're listening to this in November and it's November 15th or whatever, okay, guess what? December 15th, I'm going to be here. And then 3 months from there, in March 15th. And then June. July, August, September. I had to do that on my fingers. But write these down.
But you don't go 1, 2, 3. You're all NOFA.
Again, this is a tangible roadmap for you to get to your goals. Now that you have this, I want you to think about those 5 people you spend the most time with. Which one of them, when you show this to them, is going to say, you can't do that? Or they're going to give you a hard time? And which ones?
You make this amount of money? Well, where's mine? Like, you owe me, buddy. I've been there for you.
Which ones are going to say, dude, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yes.
How can I help? How can I support you? What do you want me to do? How can I help you get from point A to point B? And if they can't do anything, it's how can I support you? This is cool, man. I hope you get there. But the ones that mock you, the ones that say, fuck that, man. That's way too hard. Just stop dreaming. Come back. Get to work. Those are the ones that I want you to reconsider.
Well, that's the first list. Then there's the list of the ones that after you've achieved those goals, like it reminds me of my weight loss. It's like, where are my friends? Like, you were there for me when I had lost 25 pounds and you were encouraging me and you were rallying around me. You were there for me when I lost 35 pounds. Cool. Still hanging out, still being my buddy. 45 pounds, started to look at me weird. 46 pounds, started talking behind my back. 50 pounds, suddenly you've disappeared. There's those friends too. How do they feel about you having achieved that success? And that doesn't mean to stop loving them. Definitely love them. But if they need to release themselves from your life, bless and release.
Remember, you only have so much energy to give and expend in a day or in your life. Where energy goes, money flows. This was a mantra at the Business Mastery Seminar we went to that Tony Robbins gave, because this was all about business. Where energy goes, money flows. And he was referring to, where do you put your energy? Are you putting it
your
into people?
Focus, for example?
Exactly. Are you putting it into
Or
the
your
wrong
time.
people or the wrong places? Are there people that are energy sucks, that are taking your energy and your time and your focus? Because if your energy is going here towards people that are negative, well, guess what? You're not going to get to your monetary goal, because this was a business mastery seminar. But you can take this and you can take that same mentality and apply it, not imply it. You can apply it to everything else in your life. So where energy goes, your focus flows.
And you can undo everything that you've done by trying to chase those people who need to be released. Understand that your friends are an exact vibrational match. And if they don't match anymore, release those sweet people. They'll come back around. Some of them.
Or they won't.
Or they won't.
Or they won't.
Yes, very, very profound. Thank you for finishing that.
Or what's happened with us is they've left and come back in the middle of a next level up. And almost in a way where the universe feels like it's testing us. And it's one of those things where we go, do we let you back in? And if we do, where are we? We're matching our vibration with you, because you're not there yet. That these people that come back into our lives, I say randomly, but I don't believe in that. I believe in what Priscilla believes in, which is coincidence. It's the basically the universe
conspiring for our good,
yes,
but allowing growth moments.
Yes.
And sometimes those benefit us alone, and sometimes they benefit both parties. Because I had people coming back to me, okay, now I was 60 pounds down. Hey. And these people are like, all right, I talked behind your back for 20 pounds, but now I'm going to come back into your life. And how exactly did you lose that weight? Oh, I'm going to take your advice and all of your help and all of your free supplements that you gave me, and I'm going to go ahead and ignore it and talk behind your back again. And so well, okay. Am I going to let that be my energy, or am I going to continue to lose that 40 pounds? Or am I just going to release that and say, I love you, friend. Enjoy your journey, my sweet friend. And I'm going to crush this last 40 pounds.
You and I are so covetous of our positive mental attitude. As my dad calls it, PMA, positive mental attitude. Our gratitude and making sure that we remain in a high vibrational state so that we can ask the universe for the things that we want, and that the doors will be open for us. The universe will conspire to give us what we want. Now, we are very careful to associate with people that are a matching vibration. So they share similar goals. It may not be, oh, I need you here in Body Spartan doing something for Body Spartan, but it could be somebody else that's working on their own business, working on getting similar goals for their children, and similar. And I don't want you guys to think that we're all about finances, but I'll tell you what, not struggling to make your bills every single month really helps ease the tension in life. I've been there for years. For the majority of my life, I struggled.
We will never go back there. We can never go back there.
My bills. Up until 2016, when Body Spartan actually took off and all of our hard work paid off, all of the years that we had put into learning the things that we learned, and the failures that we encountered when we tried to start a business, multiple businesses, and failed flat on our faces.
Why? Because we took everything we had and gave it to somebody else every single time. Like, we made sure that they had something first, and we didn't worry about our emotional balance and our finances.
So we fell on our face, and we scraped and we scrounged. I borrowed money from my parents in 2015. If you're listening to me and you saw us in Vegas on the Facebook Live, or you saw us on Snap in the Huracan, guys, 2 years ago, I was borrowing money from my parents because I could not make my rent. I could not pay the rent where I was living because the business that I had was failing. I fell on my face. So what I'm saying is that I don't want you to think I'm all about financial stuff, but I will tell you that finances help. And I know some of you guys are like, well, the love, money is the root of all evil. No. Money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. I don't love money, but I do enjoy the fact that I don't worry about paying the mortgage. I don't worry about if I go to the store, we got to go to Costco. Is my card going to get declined? Priscilla, I know that was a big thing for you the first time that happened to you, and you were like, I don't have to worry about this. Like, I can actually go shopping and not freak out about this.
I just had like a realization. I'm buying this like organic food for my daughter, and I was like checking out in line at Whole Foods, and I start crying, and the checker's like, oh my gosh, you okay? And I'm like, I'm totally okay. And I've got her like smiling at me in the cart and everything. I'm like, I'm okay.
But this can be you. And when I talk about finances, this is a whole different part of Body Spartan. I'm here, and Priscilla is here to download to you what we have learned. Are we the most successful people on the planet? No.
Yes. Oh.
Not yet.
Not
do I
close.
own that Lamborghini Huracan? No, not yet.
I mean, absolutely. It's in the garage. We just don't have the garage yet.
It's an escrow. But how many have I sat in and rented this year? Those things are expensive to rent. And let's just say the finances were never there. I'm that much closer to having one in my garage. I will tell you that right now. And I plan to have one in my garage because that's in my plan. Because I believe it. And because I'm with people that have matching vibrations. What I'm getting at is that, yes, finances make it much, much easier. And your goals do not have to be financial goals. I use that as an example because what we have encountered and what we have worked so hard for has paid off. It helps you focus on the things that are important. Because when you're struggling to make your bills and you're wondering where your next meal is going to come from, it is so hard to live in gratitude. It's so hard to be grateful for the things that you have.
You say that, but we always did. Because
I remember made a change.
We made a choice.
We chose to live in gratitude no matter how poor we were. But there was a time when I didn't live in gratitude. I think
that we've helped each other. I mean, I am like Miss Gratitude. I'm like the gratitude, everything, blah, blah, blah.
But there was
a moment in time where I was like, I can't live here for another freaking second. And you said, I want you to sit there. I want you to tell me 5 things that you love about this home. And that was my pivotal moment. I did not love where I was living. I did not love myself. I did not love my life because I was forgetting the things that I did love. And when I told him those 3 things, really, at 3 things, it was a completely pivotal moment because the first 2 or 3, I really said with a bad attitude. And when I started continuing to talk about those things I was grateful for, about where I was at, I began to feel abundant. And that was really pivotal.
My point here is that it's hard, or it may not be apparent that you can live in gratefulness when the finances aren't there. But Priscilla and I made a choice to live in gratefulness and to recognize the things that we did have. And that was the beginning of a shift. And that shift allowed us to start visualizing what we wanted and living positively and waking up. And even though we didn't have everything that we'd ever dreamed of and hoped for and wanted monetarily or financially, we did have a positive attitude. We were happy. We wanted more, and we weren't settling for what we had. But at the moment, we were super grateful for our POS Nissan Maxima we were driving. Or
it had 4 doors, and they mostly all closed.
And we had 1 car. And they mostly, all the doors mostly closed. And the tire was mostly full of air.
Can I ask you a question? Like, it's just as I'm thinking about this, I'm like, okay, as you level up, you're losing weight, you're making more money, whatever you're doing in your life, maybe you're falling in love and all your friends are single, whatever it is, you up level, you lose friends. People get jealous because they can't see themselves in your situation, or people feel defeated thinking that they're not enough, or whatever it is, or they just don't feel like a match to you. There's this feeling that like that you're never ever going to have those kind of great friends again, that you're never ever going to have those connections again. How about that?
I'm okay with that, because what's happened is I'm learning who people really are. You find out who your friends are as you level up. And if they fall off for whatever reason, because here's what happens, guys. A lot of times when you level up, people have a hard time understanding what's going on because they're content in their ways. They're content in their patterns and cycles, and they're not capable of breaking that. At least
but it's
not
like,
yet.
well, why isn't this happening to me? Why is it only happening for you? They don't see the work
The
behind
attitude definitely changes, and there is a lot of times some dissent from those people.
But it's like, you can do it too. I'll give you every single one of my secrets, and they don't do it, and they don't have it, and it's like you feel like you're never going to have friends like that again.
We've done that with lots of people, where we've given people opportunities, downloaded the information.
But you say you're okay with it, and you're not.
That I'm okay with it?
You're not okay with that.
I'm not going to lie and say that at the moment those things didn't bother me, but here is a lesson learned for everybody listening. How much energy are you going to put towards that? Because it, again, for what is happening in my life personally right now, if I could feel it. I could feel it today, texting back and forth and telling you what was going on. I could feel it, and I'm going, this is pulling me down. And right now I should be focusing on Genesis 2.0. For anybody that doesn't know, I'm working on the second version of Genesis. It's called G2. And I'm getting close to being able to film the videos, and all my energy is going there. I'm like, I should be focusing on that. I should be focusing on the things that are going to drive more revenue and get us closer to our goals. But right now, all my energy is going to this. Where energy goes, focus flows. So my focus wasn't going to that. I literally could feel my vibrational state lowering. And if you guys ever reach this point where you can feel it, here's what I want you to do. The next time you are elated, you're happy, and you breathe a breath of fresh air wherever you are, and you take a deep breath and you go, oh my gosh, I'm so happy right now. This feels great. Whatever that moment is, I want you to stop, and I want you to just think about your senses. I want you to recognize how you're feeling. What's your body temperature like? Where do you feel your energy? Is it in your solar plexus? Is it in your heart? Is it in your crown chakra, which is your head? Where do you feel that? And remember that feeling, because when I'm in the vortex and I'm in creation mode, I'll tell Priscilla, it feels like there's a buzzing inside my head, really high. And it's like this, it's not a bad buzz, but I just feel a lot of stuff going on up there. And today, when all this shit went down, I could feel the energy, like my head was getting cold and my heart was getting cold and the energy was dropping. I just go, I can't put energy towards this.
It was so crazy. You never talked about that, but I was feeling you feel like that.
Well, because it's stepping you down too.
You know what? I'm not going to lie. Absolutely. Because we were separated, and I knew you were feeling that way because I always feel how you're feeling. And then you came into my space and I felt my energy being sucked out. And so I served and bailed. And that's a gift to your spouse, you guys. Get the heck out of there. Like, support them, but get the heck out of there so that you keep your emotional balance.
Politely. And you don't have to tell them that you're getting out.
I'm like, sweetie, you want some soup? I love you so much. You look so hot in those tight compression pants.
And it let me know that you were supporting me and what was going on.
But we have an agreement to be like that.
And while we're talking about this, there is this vibrational state. A lot of spouses and couples will just go to the next room and they'll turn on the TV and they'll sit there or they'll try to cool off.
Yeah, we don't do that.
And for years it would be, I'm going to go for a walk, or I'm going to go for, I don't get on the bike when I'm mad. I never get on the bike when I'm mad. It just doesn't happen. That's how you kill yourself.
That is the goal.
I get there. I'm 99% there. If I'm frustrated, I need to go think, I'll get on the bike. But if I'm hot about something, I won't get on the bike. For years, we would just be like, I got to go for a walk, or I'm going to go to the store. I love you, babe. I'm going to get out of the house for a little bit. I just need to cool off before I say something that's stupid.
Or before I punch you in the nose. Oh, wait.
That's really what I was getting at before I just, throw you out a window from the second story. And that would be the best solution. And here's why. It took me years to figure this out. And it was only recently that I figured this out, because electromagnetic fields are generated by your heart and your brain.
It's basically
Magnetic
like your
fields
morphic
that
field.
are measurable on scientific instruments. Up to, I believe it was a mile is what the
I
experiment.
want to say that, but now I'm reading studies that say it's tighter than that. Like
Tighter?
it's smaller space. Like it's like this. How much is that?
That's very small.
Like a foot?
Well,
I don't know. We've read up
we've
to
read
miles.
that it can be measured on
Certain
scientific
magnetic fields.
specific electromagnetic fields can from your heart can be measured up to a mile away from where you are.
Like, have you ever thought of somebody and you're like, oh, Grandma, I freaking love you. You should call me, Grandma. I love you. We got to get on the phone. And she just calls and you're like, oh. Or like, do you ever just like kind of know who's calling on your cell phone? You're like, what do I know that you guys, these are the electromagnetic impulses that are being experienced.
And that's a
It's
little
also
bit
called
broader.
telepathy.
Well, that's a little broader, and that
Not to
I'm
freak y'all out,
I'm not saying
but-
that doesn't exist, which it does, and there's a scientific explanation for that. That's
Was
amazing.
that far out? Is that not normal people stuff?
No, it just doesn't. I want them to think about the measurable scientific distance, because what I'm about to say is that electromagnetic fields go through walls, they go through concrete, they go through everything. You know, electromagnetic fields. Like, so if I'm downstairs, Priscilla's upstairs, my electromagnetic field that is affected by my emotional state will mingle with hers.
It's so weird, you guys.
Even though we are in two different rooms on two different floors.
Like, I know his blood pressure and stuff. It's really weird.
And I know
I used to
people-
see his numbers.
You
It's
can
really
relate to this
strange.
because you guys understand when you have an argument with your spouse or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or your mom or your dad, you go to the other room and you're still in the same house. You're still hot. You're still mad. You're just like, "Argh," you still feel it. But you got to go for a walk and you get with that, you get out a little
Just
bit.
go outside and put your freaking face in the dirt. Honestly,
that
I'm not
helps kind
joking.
Of. Wait, that
I'm
helps
not
kind
joking.
of. If you're in the backyard, you're
Put your
still
face
within
in
my
the dirt.
electromagnetic field range. If you get
true.
outside that range and you don't feel that vibration,
Go to a good public park. Put your face in the dirt.
do that. We'll talk about grounding on another podcast. But when you get outside that electromagnetic field range, things start to make sense and you cool off and everything comes back to normal.
It's also something to do with nature, because everything out there is living. The trees, the air.
Well, that's going to park. I mean, how many times have I just jumped in the car and be like, I'm going to go to the store. I got to get some kombucha and brownies. I do that and come back. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm
You're
sorry.
so
I love you.
sweet.
Or I'll text you. I'm like, I'm sorry. I was an
Until
ass.
the one time you do that and you have like a heart. Anyways.
Well, that was, dude, okay, so that was totally different. That was because of the minoxidil, the Rogaine crap I was using. I'm 99.9% sure, guys. By the way, if you think about using Rogaine, don't, because it was created as a blood pressure medication, and they're trying to get it pulled off the shelves without a prescription because it causes cardiac problems, specifically VTAC and AFib, which is what I was going through for a year, and I didn't realize that I was putting this stuff in my head. I have like this red reaction, and then guess what? I have all these heart palpitations. And I
But
didn't
then
put
also-
two and two together until I look back and go, oh my God, that's the only thing I was doing in between.
But then also you learn that you're in control of every single cell of your freaking body. And maybe that's another podcast, but just
Whole
saying.
other podcast.
You're amazing.
All this to say that remember when you get in an argument or you're not quite there, you need to separate. Anyway, getting back to the
that
heart.
doesn't mean you go to your parents, he goes to his, or you guys go to
Nah,
separate
just go for a
states.
walk.
Go for a walk. And it's a set period of time. You're like, I'm going to see you in 10 minutes. Like, we're
Or
going
I'll
to
be
take a
back in
little.
about a half an hour.
Yeah. And I do want to circle around to one thing that you said. You're like, you are totally cool with if friends don't circle around
Oh,
or
that's
whatever.
I kind of forgot where we were. Yes.
But you downloaded something. You monogied me.
Monogamy.
So monogamy is when he sends me a thought.
Well, it's actually from a Friends episode that
Is that another-
That's where we got it from.
Is that another podcast
20
episode?
years ago.
So when I was 18, he sent me my very first thought. And it was a word that I had never heard. And I repeated it back to him. I said, what does that mean? And he's like, how did you hear that word? I'm like, I don't know. It was not a nice word. But I had never heard of pastor's daughter. Anyways, where was I
Clitoris.
going with that? No, it was the word areola.
What?
It was the word. We were eating ice cream, and I was licking the ice cream.
I had some
and I
dirty
heard
thoughts.
your brain say areola, and I said, "What? Am I really saying this on a podcast right now?" And I'm like, "What does areola mean?" Like that was the first spoken word.
I think I kind of remember.
We're eating ice cream. We're in Corona Del Mar in San Diego, at near Hotel Del, and at Moo Town. We're sitting there
Oh my
eating
gosh, you
ice
remember
cream.
the exact location?
Oh yeah,
I very vaguely remember
because
this.
I heard the word areola, and I'm like, "What's an areola?" Like I heard it so distinctly, and I'm like, "What
and
does
I was
that
like,
mean?"
Well, here, open up your shirt and I'll show you.
No, you did not. For those of you that don't know, we didn't even kiss until our wedding day.
That's
Ow,
all-
you
oh.
slammed me with your body Spartan cup, you
I didn't
jerk.
know your foot was on my chair. You just sneaking
Dude,
that
those
thing up
things
there.
are substantial.
They are, yes.
$19.99 on
No, they're like $10. or
I know, but I'm
$14.
just saying. Anyways, the thing that I downloaded from Gabe, I encoded from him, is he was talking about him not caring. The reason he doesn't care is because he sets his intention. And if he wants friends, he pushes the intention button. And he's like, I want this friend. I want that friend. And we have done this so many times. We talked about the exact experiences that we wanted.
Kind of did it this weekend.
That's what I was saying before our trip. We sat down in the airport 5:30 in the morning, and I'm like, "What are your intentions here?" You know,
I can't
I'm like,
talk
"What
about
are
my
you?
intentions.
What are your intentions here?" Oh my gosh, it's like not even that kind of marriage.
I was just like, Priscilla, hookers and blow.
You wish. He wishes. Actually, he doesn't, because he always gets what he wants.
I've never touched blow. I never would touch blow. I'm just like,
Oh, so you've touched hookers? Oh my gosh.
You didn't even, I was
I
more.
need a 10-minute break.
Okay, wait, hang on.
I'm going for a walk.
I was more concerned with people thinking I was doing cocaine than the hookers. Everybody knows the hookers are a joke.
Oh
Priscilla.
my gosh.
I mean, unless you're into that kind of thing. 'Cause
I
then
mean,
am. Unless it's weird.
but you'd set an intention saying, I desire this friend to come into my life. And that's what we did before the weekend. I said, I was extremely specific, like ridiculously specific. And those people came and those experiences came. And so I think that what you're saying is you set your intention. And when you set an intention in the brain, it is the same part of the brain that is the action center of the brain. So when you decide what you want, you immediately start taking steps towards accomplishing it. So thank you for that, Gabe.
Well, that's what
See,
I'm
all
here
the
to do.
smart stuff that comes out of my mouth really is just things that are encoded from my brilliant husband.
Okay, guys, you know your 5 people. You have your goals written down. If you don't, I'm going to jump through this frickin' podcast and punch you in the teeth. If you haven't written down your goals, take a moment and do it right now while we finish up here. But you know those 5 people. And remember, who helps you, who's going to support you, and who's not going to support you, who's going to mock you, who's going to give you the trouble. Those are the people that you need to release.
They ain't mean to be rude.
It might be your mom or
They
your dad.
feel insecure or
It might
uncomfortable
be your
with
spouse. And that's a point where you have to determine, is divorce an option? Because for me, it's not. For Priscilla, it's not. For other people, it might be. It might be a best friend. It might be friends that you've had for years. But you'll understand at that moment in time, are they hindering you? And if so, you've got to think, I have one life. I have one chance. I just posted that on Instagram, by the way. I thought it was pretty fucking epic.
What did you say?
One life, one chance. It was just a photo, and I just captioned
That's
it.
cool.
I did
One
Photoshop,
life,
just
one
wrote,
chance.
One life, one chance. You don't get to do this again. So stop acting like you do. You have one life. And if you have goals, you have dreams and aspirations of doing whatever it might be, you have to make that happen, because nobody's going to make it happen for you. And if it means saying goodbye to certain people in your life for a certain period of time so that you can associate with people that are more on track with your goals, then you need to do that. And you need to not be afraid to do that. What I've found in my life is that by simply saying and doing what it is that I want, and this might sound selfish, but all of us have been through it, where you just go, I want this, but I'm scared to ask. I want this, but I'm nervous to ask. Well, you fuck that. Just say what it is you want, whether it's to your spouse or to these people or to the universe. Just tell people what you want and do what it is that you want.
What do you want?
As far as what?
What do you want?
Right now, I want everybody listening to fully understand the gravity of what I'm saying. Because I've been there. I understand. And every time you don't say or do what it is that you want, you lose that day. You lose and you miss that opportunity. And opportunities do not always present themselves again.
So what you're saying is that what you deeply want is to spare somebody else the pain of what it has taken you so long to learn. That's your purpose. I mean, I'm not going to
spare somebody
That's like
from going through their entire life with something they wanted to do or experience. Because as we all know, life can end in an instant. It happened to my dog. It happened to my brother. I've watched it happen. One moment they are here and the next moment they are gone. And for fuck's sake, that could be you. Anything can happen. A fucking meteor could fall out of the sky. It'll land on you. Probably won't. But you could be in a car accident. You could have a brain aneurysm. You get cancer tomorrow. Who knows? These aren't very positive things to think about. I'm not trying to implant you with fear. But the realization that our time is limited here, that needs to be at the front of your mind. And you need to think of it like this. Every second that ticks, that I am not moving towards my goal, I am not changing what I'm doing, I am not advancing, that is a second I will never get back. And for most of you, it's not even a second, it's a day that goes by. You miss the opportunity because you sit around and you think about it and you get in your own head. And when you get in your head, you're fucked. I always say, don't think, just do. When you think about it and you're certain of it, at that very moment, you need to act on it. Don't sit around and think this shit through. Because then once you start thinking about it, your brain will come up with a million reasons why you shouldn't do it.
Have you ever heard that phrase, how do you eat an elephant?
You start at the tail. Wait, no.
One
bite at a time, sorry.
One bite at a time. I was just thinking, like, how do you eat a soul?
Okay, that is some really serious shit we should talk about.
Not right now at a time.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yep. That is really profound.
That's really profound.
That is how your soul gets eaten. One not right now at a time.
All right. You can order your shirts now. Oh, we freaking love you people. We love your freaking faces.
I'm going to leave you with this tonight. Pick your people carefully.
You can pick your nose. You can pick your friend's nose. But wait.
You're really trying to be funny, and I'm such a deep. My brain, I can feel it. It's in my brain right now. Remember, I told you guys that my brain, I can feel the vibration up high when I'm in the vortex. I'm in it right now, and I'm in the moment right now.
Say it.
You got your 5 people. Pick them carefully. If they don't fit, they got to go. There is no rewind. There is no do-over. You don't have an eraser on a canvas. You can't start fresh. As far as we know, in this lifetime, time is linear. We go from point A to point B. And as much as I want to believe that time is not linear, and that someday there will be time travel, we can change shit, because I believe that there is a way. Right now, your life is linear. You are born, you live, you die. What I want you to do instead is be born, experience life, and leave with a bang. Knowing that you have accomplished everything. You've experienced everything that life had to offer you. You met every goal. You did everything. And you changed the world. You did something for the human race. Yes, I am talking to you. you can change the world. You can make a paradigm shift. You can contribute. I'm going to leave you with that, guys. We'll see you next time.
For more free information on fitness, nutrition, and bodybuilding, visit us at www.bodyspartan.com.